Shane here again. Messed up the last recording. Let's do it from the top. Um, this video is fairly interesting to me, and it's realizing your position in life, where you come from, also in life. And the reason why I like to talk about this is because it it will make you understand why people have lineages or lack thereof in terms of a lineage, a legacy, you know. Um, Classic case in point, Jamaica, and the reason why a lot of young black guys who come over here end up trying to start a lineage or legacy, and a lot of us come from single parent homes, single mother homes specifically, and we have a very skewed view of what parenting is. A lot of us in Jamaica, yeah, and in England as well, we have a very survivalistic mentality. Survivalistic mentality with black people. And the reason why I say this, even though now after being in this country for 20 years and, you know, speak English, that makes you an Englishman, so on and so forth. But I've seen two sides of a cultural spectrum. And the thing is that's interesting to me about seeing those two perspectives, because you can be like a judge of two backgrounds when you judge those two spectrums. And I've seen the Jamaican spectrum where there's family. I mean, people try to brag about stuff. I think in Jamaican culture we try to cover up a lot of dirt as well. We have a lot of bickering and, very very petty issues. Um, I don't like your son. Even though you're my sister, I don't like your sister's son. I don't like your brother's nephew. I don't like your sister's uncle. You got a lot of molestation. You got a lot of, even though people talk about rednecks, which is interesting, yeah. A lot of black people do commit incest, because in Jamaica, the reason why this is an unspoken about issue, and again, we're a culture that likes to cover up our dirt, is because you have a lot of men, and it's not no reason apart from this is simple. This is the simple reason. You have a culture that came just fresh out of slavery. I think slavery has been what? It just fresh came out of it 60 years, 80, I don't know. It hasn't been that long. Well, if you want to say 100, I'm not doing specifics because I'm crap at math. But we haven't been too long out of slavery. And we have issues we don't want to talk about, which is when you just come out of a history that is a depraved one, no culture. Your culture was lost when you were taken from your homeland, and you're following a new culture, or you made up a culture, whatever it may be. Yeah, you need to start from scratch, right? So with us, we've come out of a culture. They gave, you know, the British has given us Christianity, and we are very scared to talk about history. Um, there's nothing wrong with talking about history. It's it's like historical therapy. Like history is something everyone needs to talk about because when you talk about stuff, you gain understanding, knowledge, and it really takes away a lot of ignorance that having a lack of knowledge of self, which is your history, comes with not talking about history. It takes away a lot of ignorance. So, in the case of Jamaica, the reason why everyone is in survival mode because everyone basically, not everyone, a lot of people came from this culture where the men sleep with the women. They're kind of encouraged through the culture, because that's what the culture is, to sleep around, don't build any families, or everything is about how many women you've slept with, and it's kind of a backward way of thinking, you know? The men don't gather any resources to provide for the children, they don't stay around for the kids to even provide anything. So you have that, and then these kids come out these messed up homes, messed up situations. They're getting beaten um, for minuscule things, really. Um, Petty offenses. They're stressed out, they're crazy. They join gangs. You have a very gang orientated culture, essentially. And it ruins us because how can your bottom be your top, if that makes sense? If your foot, which is the dirtiest part of your body, is treated better than your head, which is the thinking part of your body, how can your culture succeed? The dirty part of you, the dirtiest part of your body, you know what I mean? You could say it's your bum as well, but let's just go in let's do it in basic terms, and we're trying to keep it friendly as possible. How can you succeed? You know what I mean? You 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 can't really succeed if that's the case. And this is why a lot of black kids follow gang rap. This is why me in my situation right now, I don't know. I went to the park and you know, right now I live in All Saints, and you know, because of self hate, one of these black rebels without cause might want to gain some reputation because they have no self worth. You know, might try to injure me or take my life because I'm trying to work out at a park, and they that's all they know. That they all they know is self-loathing, self-deprecating behavior because you know that's the only thing they know, and it's just good to get this off my chest. And right now, I'm trying to build something where if I do have children, they will have a legacy. They will know their history. And they'll have a foundation where the dad and the mom is around. And this is no bash on single mothers at all. You know, if you're a single mother and you're trying to figure yourself out, everyone's trying to figure out themselves because the parents are coming out of ignorance as well. And the more, you know, things get more modern uh, in terms of relationships, everyone's trying to be cool and sleep around and bang as many women as they want to. You know, you can do that from the start, but if your culture again is where the bottom is your top, how are you meant to survive? Your culture, your lineage. There is no lineage. You might even be banging, sleeping with your cousin, because at the end of the day, everyone needs to know everyone, and if your family is so scattered about where no one knows anyone, you might end up sleeping with your cousin. You wouldn't even know it. So, or even your half sister. Let's forget the cousin. Your half sister. You could be doing that. So, this is why Jamaicans, uh, what's the word? This is why Jamaicans are so backward in their thinking, because we don't have a culture that's been around for hundreds of years. Our culture has only been around, less than 100 years. We don't follow African culture. Stuff wasn't passed down. We never knew our dads. So of course your culture is gonna be a little bit backward. And the same thing with America or anywhere else. But at least in America, I can say this about them. They, because of Jim Crow laws and a lot of other reasons, were kind of forced to stick together as a community, whereas with Jamaica, in the modern age, actually back in the day as well, you could say that. I guess because information was shared so much. Back in the days, I knew a lot of people stuck together in marriage and so on and so forth, but this gang culture and this era of promiscuity, whatever you call it, promiscuity. I'm not good with words here. Where people are promiscuous, that is the culture we live in. You have women getting desensitized to sex because, again, a woman needs to be very, 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 she needs to be responsible with her partners. And, it's boring to talk about this stuff. And men, it's no different for us blokes as well. Even though it's better for a guy to have options, I think. It's pathetic when a guy doesn't, because of with men, sex is a reward. Women, it's what they give. So the dynamics are just different. We get rewarded for sex. Women, they give you sex. That's what they do. That's how they reward you for, you know, doing well in life. Um. So yeah, this is a video on how why Jamaican people and black people in general, not so much Africans because they have culture and we don't. Why the diaspora are so messed up, and we show the least amount of sympathy for our people because everyone's confused, everyone's messed up. You know what I mean? And a lot of us flee that by marrying interracially. There's nothing wrong with doing it, everyone's doing it. But I'm just saying there's symptoms there. If you look at them, there's the signs. And you can see where the problems start. If you don't like your own culture, you can grow up with people who are of a different ethnic background, even of a different cultural background, simply by being around them and you respect them and so on. And you just get used to them as well. There's that. But you can also marry someone else out of self-hate for your own culture, right? And as diaspora, the people who just came fresh out of slavery, just trying to gather our bearings. My God, man, it's key that we become educated on uh, relationships, uh, on lineage, and not be so selfish and leave younger people with something. Because who else is gonna do it? And we keep expecting a handout. We expect reparations, but a lot of it is just solidifying your family, really, and stop. No, I wouldn't say stop because we don't control the media, but at least contribute to your own inner household by not being your kids and being your kids. That's gonna be a topic for another video. And just love yourself, man. Love yourself by loving your family, loving your child, loving your daughter. Not loving on them, you know what I mean? But just showing them a different side to life, you know. Otherwise, they're gonna not be prepared for life. And some black parents, I do know they take some joy in it. Guys, y'all gotta learn a lesson. This is why people look on us as ignorant. I love talking to you guys. Take care.